words that are speaking to us and being illumined in our hearts by the Holy Spirit. First, we must understand that there is an issue between the cultures that are hearing this message. The culture that existed during the time that Paul was writing, when he wrote this chapter, he was addressing the Corinthian skepticism about the future resurrection. At issue was the difference between the Greek and the Corinthian and the Hebrew understanding of life to come. Greeks who believed in an afterlife tended to speak of the immortality of the soul. They viewed the soul as something different than matter. In the Greek view, the soul is liberated from the body and lives forever in a non-corporal state. Christians are in the Hebrew tradition regarding the afterlife, believing in the resurrection of the body. The resurrected Christ is, if you will, a glimpse of the life to come, actually viewed in its intermediate state, the state between the death of a person and their being raised to life everlasting. So here we understand that the Apostle Paul is explaining why this is so important to the gospel message. Remember what we read when we basically were covering the examples of how Jesus appeared in bodily form. We want to make sure that everyone understands Jesus was raised as a physical body, one that could be handled, one that had flesh and bone. But there was one element in the body glorified that did not have mention. And what is that, believer? It is the blood. There is no mention of the blood being present in the glorified body. And so we'll discuss this more in the next segment, and that is today's reflection on the Word.
Thank you, Richard. Join us again tomorrow when we continue with the next edition of Reflections on the Word with Richard Kay. For Richard and the entire team, this is Chuck Christie saying thanks for listening to this edition of Reflections on the Word.